Hello, welcome to this video. This one's really complex for me. You can see I'm recording it back there, and I've got a vocal mic here. I've got the camera there. I've got to sync it all up. And why? Because I wanted to go through the 10 drummers that I believe has influenced me the most. Quite a relaxed chat, going through what I got from those players. With some players, it's very specific technical things. And with other players, it's more vibe and style. So I might not even be playing examples for all these drummers, but I might do. Now, before we start, I want to just tell you about how I've recorded this. I'm using the Glyn Johns method, really, of recording. So here, we've got a powered overhead mic there. That's quite far away. It's literally, I would say, 5-6 foot away. And you can't see it, but I've got another mic above the kit's same distance. So these two overheads are exactly the same distance from the drums, okay? So what you're going to hear is pretty much what this drums kit sounds like, and you're also going to hear the room. Now, the reason I want to do this is because you so rarely hear this nowadays. You so rarely hear somebody playing in a room. There's too much close miking. I've got no mics on the toms whatsoever. I've got a bass drum mic there at the front. It's not inside the bass drum. It's just out the front of the bass drum. And then I got an SM57 here on the snare. Right, so what you'll hear is pretty much the kit. If you want to know what this drum kit is, it's a British drum company drum kit. I endorse this kit. It's an incredible kit. It's like the Rolls Royce of drum kits. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm using Remo pinstripes here on the toms. I've got Control Sound CS with a black dot coated on the snare drum. And what have I got on the bass drum? I've got a power stroke on the bass drum coated. So that's all Remo. And I've gone through every single drum head, and they're all very good. But Remos sound like proper drum heads because that's what everyone plays. So if you want the sound of proper drums, you get Remos. The cymbals, of course, are my beautiful Dream Dark Matter cymbals. These are all the Dark Matter. Very dark, very low-pitched, very dry. And then this China here, I believe, is it's a Dream China, but I can't remember because it's the wrong way around. I can't see the label. I'm not very much of a gear nut. You might find out. I just like to play them. Okay, so let's have a go then, shall we? So at number 10, I've got a drummer that has influenced me hugely, but doesn't get talked about that much. Now, partly this is because he died relatively young. It's a drummer called Tony Thompson, and Tony Thompson was the drummer in Chic. And then he went on to form a sort of super group with two of the guys from Duran Duran and Robert Palmer called Power Station. He also drummed in the 80s on a lot of the Robert Palmer albums. He plays the drums on Addicted to Love. He played on a whole bunch of different records, and he actually ended up playing behind Led Zeppelin at the Live Aid Reform, which he did a terrible job, and it's a shame because Tony Thompson is or was the right guy to replace John Bonham. In the 80s with Chic, you know, he's played really tight funk. It's all like that. That was an influence on me, but on Power Station, you suddenly get these big sounding drums, and it's a room sound. And you get his fills were very simple. Stuff like but the thing that really influenced me about Tony Thompson was the way he played the hi-hat. Because when he was playing something that was really rocking, he would open the hi-hat on the downbeats. So a lot of drummers, disco drummers, would do this. That type of sound often. that type of sound, right? He would open the hi-hats on the downs like this. Loads of space, loads of meatiness. So that's one guy that's really influenced me. And I often will think, especially when I'm playing in a band in a recording situation, rather than sort of going those types of feels all the time, is just to think like Tony Thompson. So that's my Tony Thompson impersonation. And the specific thing I got from Tony Thompson was that open hi-hat thing and the way the hi-hats work. I'm very interested because a lot of the time when you're playing, that's your bread and butter. So the personality has to happen here on the hi-hats. If you're playing a straight rock beat, I'm accenting that hi-hat on the downs. I'm now going to play exactly the same beat, but I'm going to accent them syncopated on the and of the eighths. So like this. Changes the feel of the beat. I can go. So you can see the hi-hats is where your personality comes out. So I get a lot from different drummers styles-wise from the hi-hats. Right, so at number 9, I've got Elvin Jones next to. Are going to be horrible to talk about. Elvin Jones, for me, is one of the great jazz drummers of all drummers. And Elvin was the guy that I sort of tried to play like. Now, I couldn't play anything he played. It was so bloody hard. But I took the spirit of Elvin Jones and the sort of fundamental aspects of what he was doing on the drums. So if I do a brief history of drums, you know, the New Orleans drums are going. And then Joe Jones comes along and he moves the sound to the hi-hat, so you get that. That's the sort of Joe Jones way of playing. And then the bebop guys come home and they start to play swing like this. So they're holding down the jazz swing, right? And then they're punctuated between snare and bass drum. What Elvin does is he just busts the whole thing open. And now it becomes a flowing thing. So he would go like. That's the sort of Elvin approach. Tony Williams did a similar thing, and Jack DeJohnette. They were the 3 drummers. I'm going to include all of them here. With Tony, it's the hi-hat. So Tony's keeping time like that. Jack DeJohnette was I actually did a Jack DeJohnette hi-hat where he punctuates it like as part of the thing. Whereas Elvin played very strict, 2 and 4. So that for me is modern drumming. Elvin's my main guy, and my soloing is very much, if I just open solo. I'm not playing Elvin licks at all. Elvin would often do a lot of sort of John Bonham, that type of stuff in his soloing. But it's more the approach to time and the elasticity of time. So that's who I've got number 9. At number 8, I got Vinnie Colaiuta. What the hell did I put him on? So the amount I've got for Vinnie is so much. But again, I couldn't do what Vinnie was doing. But there's so much. It's like a separate video. I could do a whole video on me trying to ape Vinnie. And it's all sorts of different things. So one of the things I got from Vinnie was the way he plays the hi-hat. He will have something like that running all the way through. So you'll get... He does a lot of that. And he often will... Simon Phillips does the same thing. We haven't got Simon Phillips on here, but Simon would be here with Vinnie. He also does this thing where he'll be off. Right, so the way Vinnie plays odd time, so if you're playing in 19, the sort of linear approach to odd time. So I'm playing all in 19. Even when I went wrong, I still maintained the 19. So his way of carving up time, his polyrhythmical approach to odd time signatures. Again, so if you're playing in 19, so I'm playing in 19. So I'm thinking of 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. So four lots of 4 and a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. But Vinnie would, unlike all the other guys that would be playing that, who would stick rigidly inside it, he had a way of breaking out of it. And what I realised is that what he was doing, he was using that 3 at the end of the pattern to bounce off. So if we start like this, now this is my solution to it. I've never read Vinnie. The only thing I got from Vinnie is on Zildjian Day at New York, he says... someone says, how do you play odd times? He says, I just break everything to 2 or 3, which was a big clue. But this is where I got my Vinnie-isms from. If we take this 19, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. Right, so... There, I'm now going to get rid of the 2, 3, 4. Right? I'm going to do this. 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. So there, I'm trying now to play within the 19. I'm trying to, and I'm thinking of that space. And so, you know, you could then put polyrhythms in there. Vinnie's like, it's like nuclear physics of drumming. But the other thing I got for Vinnie is when I saw him on the new Zildjian at New York video, I didn't know what he was doing. So some drummers are really technical and they'll do very hard stuff like this. Now you know precisely what that is, but it's a lot of effort, you know. Or they're going like... And you know what all of that is, but Vinnie didn't sound like that. Vinnie sounded like this. that type of playing is inspired by Vinnie. The breakthrough for me was to stop playing standard shapes around the drum kit and to think about voicing. So John Bonham would do this. That's a Bonham lick. Vinnie would do it like this. He would voice it weird. He'd hit crash cymbals as though they're toms with no bass drumming. And when you bury that into the playing, and the sort of looseness and the polyrhythmicalness, and the sort of hands going in awkward directions, and very fast rudiments, stickings around the kit, where he would be like there, and you know, so you might get. I got that from Vinnie, and also lots of that type of linear thing. So I've tried to do Vinnie justice. I'm nowhere near him. Right, number 7, we have Bill Bruford. Now, Bill Bruford's great innovation for me was the sound, right? Now, this here, if I move this out of the way, I have this very highly tuned 12-inch snare, and it's cracks. There's no mic on it, but... So, Bruford, 2 things from Bruford. Right, so he would play that type of snare sound. But I'm playing time there. Bruford would play that rock time like he was a jazz drummer. So say he was playing in 7, rather than going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. He would play it like this. And loads of crisp rolls. Everything really neat, you know. And precise. That's what I got from Bruford. Right, next one, polar opposite, John Bonham. Right, so Bonham is so all-encompassing that we all go after Bonham. I also developed this right foot. So that right foot speed, I got, you know, that's, you hear Bonham as a kid and you think, how do I get that? And it sets you off. So there's that there. But what's really interesting, the most incredible thing about Bonham's playing is the way he will put the 1, right? So say we got 4 bars. So say we're crashing on the 1. So say we're going... So I'm crashed on the 1. He wouldn't crash on the 1. He will move it over somewhere. And it's my favourite thing that Bonham does. So for Bonham, it's the way he keeps time, and he does what no other rock drummer does, is the way he shifts the downbeats on stuff. So he would go... That's Bonham for you. It's loads. I'm going to go deeper into this with this video. Right, so who have I got? Oh, this is an all-encompassing one. Terry Bozzio. Right, so Terry Bozzio got so much from Terry. Start off a way of approaching the double bass drum kit, right? So Terry does this. He would take a single stroke roll and he then he goes through the different accents. And so if you think of it in fours, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. He would put the accent on a cymbal in with a bass drum behind it. So he'll go usually on a china. Then he would go on to the next one, the 2. Then he would go on to the 3. And then he would go on to the 4. I played it just with the right foot, but he would often, when it got complex, would be putting the right foot on the cymbal there and the left foot on the cymbal there. And when you improvise with that, you get this sound. So that was something I got from Terry Bozzio, is that type of approach about playing around the kit. It comes from Cobham, because Cobham will play out from the snare drum. That type of approach. Right, so there we start to get deep with Terry. I learned as a kid US drag, which is a linear pattern from Terry Bozzio. Sounds like this. And that groove there contains so many weird things, like I got that from Terry, but overwhelmingly it's his approach to ostinatos. So an ostinato is a pattern that you keep regularly. It's like a riff almost, and then improvising against that. So I'm going to do some ostinato playing now. So I'll take quite a straightforward ostinato. I'm going to do this one. And you take the snare drums off for Terry. You can't have the snares on, right? And then I'm going to go left on my left bass drum, and then 2 on my right. Then I'm going to go hi-hat with my left, 2 on the right. Then flanged hi-hat, open, 2 on the right, and then shut. So slowing it down, the ostinato, which is this foot pattern that I'm about to do, goes like this. Left, right, right, 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 left, right, right. I'm working across pedals. I got that from Terry Bozzio. So we speed that up. And then I want to improvise over the top of it, trying to go across the bar line, and I may even stick some polyrhythms into it as well. This is where when I was out doing drum clinics, this was my sort of forte, was this sort of coordinating stuff. And it was because in 1988, I heard a flexi disc of Terry Bozzio doing these ostinatos, and I could not believe it. And me struggling to get this really advanced my playing. So I thank Terry for that. Anyway, let's have a go. I haven't done them for a while. Let's do some polyrhythmical stuff, see if I can pull that off. Could barely pull that one off. So that's what I got from Terry. Stuff like... ostinatos, and I've taken my black thing off my wrist, so my left hand is struggling a little bit. Excuses. At number 4, I have Stewart Copeland. Again, this is like Bonham. This is a way of playing the drums in a way that is not what normal drummers do in terms of voicing the patterns. So obviously we've got... use of a rim click, you know, the placing of everything upside down, putting the bass drum not on the one, and a way of playing the hi-hats. Everything upside down, and like I say, the colour coming from the hi-hats. Now, these aren't Stewart Copeland licks, but it's what I've got from Stewart Copeland. Put my snares back on. Oh, I've got them back on. And also, the other thing I got from Stewart Copeland was a certain way of playing aggressive rock beats fast ahead of the beat. These fills, so you'll see me do this a lot. And I'll move over to here. You know, one-handed fills. Stewart Copeland was my first big influence, that and Cozy Powell, and Cozy didn't make the list. Right, at number 3, I have Steve Gadd. Right, Steve Gadd is probably more than any drummer I've copied his licks. A lot of what I'm doing here on the drum kit in the other drummers' bits are an approximation of what those drummers do, but technically I'm doing what Steve Gadd does. So Steve Gadd, it's, again, like Bonham and Stewart Copeland, it's the way he phrases something. So if I take, like, linear playing. So linear playing it would be something like. What Gadd would do was he'd do it the other way around. And then he would voice stuff like that, the toms. And I'm making stuff up here. The moving of my left hand to the hi-hat here. That's what I got from Gadd. The use of the John Bonham triplets in beats. Think of a beat like this. I got that from Gadd, all this stuff. And then the sort of use of very precise military drumming in solos, but in a groovy way. You know, and then Gadd can play anything, but his solos are so signature, you know, like, you know, that thing. I ain't got his feel, obviously. So that's who I've got. Number 3 is Steve Gadd. Anyway, at number 2, I've got Billy Cobham. One of my biggest influences, obviously my second biggest influences. So obviously, whole bunch of stuff. This basics type of linear playing around a paradiddle. So a paradiddle is a pattern with your hands that goes right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right. If I play it with my right hand on the hi-hat, we get right, left, right, right, left, right, left. Speed that up, put some dynamics in, a few bass drums. So that's the Billy Cobham basic feel. So, and then he would do, and I don't know how he did them, but he would put, if he was playing like, say, an 11, we would break 11 like 4, 4, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. But he would subdivide the 3, at double speed. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So if you put that paradiddle in, and then I will play that as a Billy Cobham double time 3. The way he plays around the toms, I've just copied. Every time I'll do a tom fill, I'll go. There's a certain feel there, but also you get those sort of. But here's some specific things. I discovered Billy Cobham about 3 weeks after I started playing. He did a thing on the BBC Two, and he was playing around the kit singles, but he was moving this hand round in 5, right? I'm going to do it in 4 because I haven't got the toms. He got more toms. So if imagine moving the right hand in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Moving this hand round in 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Putting those on the top so the polyrhythms start to interlink. So that was another big thing. And what I realised is that Billy Cobham does not think about playing around the kit. He's often playing out. That type of stuff. And often when you see him really play fast, he does a blur of these. And that was something that opened up the kit for me. Billy Cobham could go on and on. So we're now at number 1. And number 1, of course, is the great Narada Michael Walden. All right? So Narada is a jazz drummer.
First of all, you could become a patron. You could become a free member or a paid-up member. I have over 300 extra videos on there. And if you don't even want to become a member, please pop over because you can access my collections where you can purchase even more weirder and wackier video content. If you want to support me financially with a little tip, buy me some biscuits or maybe some crisps, you could pop over to my PayPal tip jar. I also have a Substack where I have lots of clever, academic and thought out articles where I explain my ideas on art, culture and creativity in a more intelligent way than I do here, plus a whole ton of podcasts. If you want to know what my music sounds like, you can pop over to my Bandcamp. Over there, you'll be able to listen to over 50 albums, and if you want to access them all, you could become a subscriber. And last but not least, if you want to support the wonderful studio where I film these lovely videos, which is actually a charity trying to help people out in the community become more creative, here is the website where you could drop a few pounds or dollars or whatever the currency is in your country in there. Thanks for listening and back to the show.